Hey, folks, it is Kary Oberbrunner, and I have with me a very special guest, a book that I am so excited about. This is Kathleen Adams, the new author of Second 50. How are you doing?
Hi, Kary. I'm doing great.
Oh, listen, we are going to see each other in Paris here in the next month. I can't wait. But you are doing so many things. You have this unique perspective of blending financial planning with longevity. It's truly where the industry's going. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, at the very base of my inspiration was my dad.
Mm,
So he was just a person who he was missing a couple of things that could have given him the most amazing second 50 years of life. However, he had all the qualities of the type of person that could have an amazing second 50 years of life.
yep, yep.
So he was just very, very successful, but he hadn't set things up correctly. He didn't have the right team, and he couldn't do all he wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you and I geek out over um, CRISPR genes and longevity and all this stuff, but why do you think the industry is really moving in a way where it's not just financial or it's not just health, but both are kind of blending? What do you think?
We have to,
Mm,
so in our profession, when I wear my hat as a financial planner,
yeah.
um, and 23 years of doing that, one thing that is certain that we know now is that we are going to be living longer. This longevity buzzword is pervading all kinds of industries now. But for me, and for most of the people that I work with, it's about living longer with a better quality of life.
Mm,
Um, and you can't do that without first and foremost having some financial confidence.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I know we met through strategic coach Dan Sullivan, but he talks a lot about, he's got a book called about living to 156. And this is no longer hype. I mean, this is reality where people are starting to really live longer. But like you said, not just the age, but the quality. Let's get into these three benefits of your subtitle: achieve financial confidence, increase opportunity, and leverage vitality. I love that you broke the book down into those particular benefits. Why is those three kind of like the magic formula?
Well, people in their second 50, and I named it second 50 for the reason that I believe many people will live longer than 100 years old. So they're in their second 50, and they're used to a really great lifestyle, right?
Mm,
They're successful. The people I've worked with are wonderful people, successful and brilliant, and used to living that lifestyle and having lots of income coming in. But at a certain point in your second 50 years, you either need to know that work really is optional, you don't have to, or you may be in a place where you are definitely closing the door. So basically, Second 50 is built on financial confidence, is about creating the income stream that you won't outlive. So we don't give any guarantees. We're just saying everyone needs to be planning and thinking around that. And that is the basis of financial confidence. It becomes about income and wealth preservation.
I I caught myself the other day. Somebody said, "Hey, I'm entering my second half," and I was like, "Oh, hold on." But I love that your book has literally changed the way I think, where now when I even hear that term, what's wrong with that term when people say, and by the way, this person, I hope she's watching, I'm not throwing her under the bus, but she had just hit 40 and she said, now I'm moving to the second half. What does that even do subconsciously to your body, your brain, everything?
Well, that sounds like that's it, right? I had a first half and a second half, and I'm done. So what happens to people in my group, my age group, so this is second 50 and baby boomers,
Sure.
is we're looking at our parents, we're looking at our grandparents, we're thinking how long did they live, what kind of life did they have, and now I'm entering into this second half time frame to live it like they did. And I genuinely love talking to people that are open to exploring. This really could be a second 50. And if you look at it that way, you don't have to think about the limited time,
Yes.
right?
I love it. I love this because think about it. That woman who just celebrated her 40th and said that she's in her second half, the day she turns 40 years in one day, she's now closer to the end of her life than the beginning. You know what I'm saying? That's the mental, and then you're like, well, crud, I might start winding down. And it's like a whole mindset thing.
Totally. It's a total mindset. It's a clock in their head, as we talked about in the book.
Wow.
And that clock doesn't have to be there, but the media supports that limited mindset, and
Yeah.
actually, so does a lot of traditional medicine. You're
Ooh,
constantly hearing it. Your age.
that's true. I love
So
it. I love in the book, and I loved this whole process with you. You taught me a ton. But you and your husband have a rule where you don't talk about all your aches and pains and this type of thing. Even get into some of that practical stuff, because I think a lot of times you're right. There's some people that I hang with. I actually hang out with older people, and older people's relative. But I'm going to France. You know this. I'm cycling with a guy, 5 guys in their 60s, and I'm in my 40s. And some of these guys are crushing it, and they're in their late 60s. You have a rule that you don't talk about aches and pains. Talk about that, because I think a lot of older people, 70s, 80s, 90s, they just talk about their pains all the time. What does that do?
well, first, I just want to say I love that you're riding with those guys.
Yeah.
Someday I'd love to meet them. They are exactly who Second 50 movement is about. But yeah, the rule was just, you know what? It's so easy to sit down and talk about your high cholesterol and how your back hurts and you can't move as well. And the rule is supposed to be, don't talk about it unless it involved a trip to the emergency room, because
I
it's really
love that.
newsworthy. Yeah. Yeah.
But see, that's important because, I mean, my favorite book says that as a person thinks in their heart, so are they. And if you're always talking about this and that, and I can't do this and I can't do that, you begin to like embody that. And like, what else is going to go wrong? I love what Ricky says. There's a guy in Arizona who hikes one of the toughest valleys, and he's 92. But aren't we seeing that though? Whether it's Martha Stewart, whether it's I heard a guy, just finished a marathon at 100. Like, isn't it? Aren't we pushing through a lot of these things today?
We are. I think when you've had a lot of success and had brilliant careers and been raising good families, and all of those are wonderful, wonderful goals, and you get into this time frame, I do think a lot of people start to feel like they have more left to give
Mm,
and more that they want to do, but
yeah,
they aren't supported necessarily in that quest.
mm,
Instead, it becomes about just enjoy your freedom. You got
yeah.
to this place and get very comfortable, build some routines so that you have something to do every day and you'll be fine. That's what I don't agree with.
Wow, I love it. I love that you are saying, look, is your daughter in Denmark, by the way? One of them?
She is in Denmark and I think she's listening.
Yeah. Well, look at that. We're international now. Uh, but here you are. And by the way, when you tell people your age, if you want, I'm always like, what in the heck? No way. But I don't know. Do you want to share your age? It's up to you. You don't
Yeah,
have
I'm 69 now, not even 68.
to. So she's 69 years old.
Yes.
She's boarding a plane, going to Denmark. She's going to France, the oldest cafe. She's learning how to leverage her book brand and business. Here you are on LinkedIn. You have a whole Second 50 financial and Second 50 movement. What is the movement part about? What do you hope happens?
Right. So Second 50 Financial, as we said, is all about building that financial confidence when your business income stops, right? Once you have that financial confidence and you have the freedom to do what you want, do you have people around you? Do you have some connections and some community to help you think about that. Do you have someone that you can share maybe some new big ideas? Maybe you don't have big ideas, but you kind of wish you did. Do you have a community like that that you can be with who will help you explore what's next in the second 50? So the second 50 movement is really about opportunity expansion
Ooh,
and
I like
how we
that.
can use tools and resources and new connections to explore what's next for us.
I like that. By the way, you're getting from the crowd that Kathleen is beautiful. So here we go. Here we go. So I love this. Do you think there's going to be members all over the world? I mean, the book, to me, a book is a great thing because you can hand it to people. Obviously, I love books, but I think books get people's brains going. So is the first step the book, and then you're going to do some live events? What are you going to do?
Yes, so we're doing some workshops right now, bringing groups of people together on Zoom to
Wow.
start to explore what's in our heads right now, what are we thinking? And then when we do that, we're offering the beginnings of a process about how we might be able to help each other and also some new tools. And one of my favorites, as you know, Kary, because we're going to be exploring this in France, is artificial intelligence.
Yes.
I don't think the second 50 community is, um, especially if you're in your 60s and beyond, are as involved in it. And as far as global, yes, because I've already talked to people in Germany. So I have a new friend in Germany who's
Ooh,
excited about this, a wonderful person I met through Peter Diamandis and Abundance.
yes.
So, yes, we do plan to be global. I'm very excited.
You mentioned Peter Diamandis. Love what he's doing. He's now one of the people that we have the privilege of publishing. Even June 6th is his launch date. But you went to Abundance 360. You're learning from the David Sinclairs of the world, but you're learning that health. What is it? What is it? Health is. What does he say? It's not a disease, or it's not a cause of death. I know this is a whole controversial thing, but take us into a little bit of your neuroscience background. Just blow our minds a little bit.
Yeah, well, about 5 years ago, my mind started opening up, and it was mostly because of the communities that I'm privileged to be a part of. I've spent a lot of money and a lot of time in that space with people and learned so much more about quantum physics, sort of
Yes.
the essence of who we are and how the world was built. And I have a science background. I have a background in the biological sciences. I grew up Catholic, so I'm not trying to get overly philosophical here, other than the new science in today's world says we are 100% down to the very smallest atomic level made of energy.
Wow.
So that helps you understand, hey, there's a lot more to who we are physically because of that.
Mm,
And it also might make you think a little bit more about being able to have a longer life. So quantum physics fed into everything else I was doing.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So I'm going to ask you a few questions here. Why focus on the baby boomers? Why is this the part you're saying I'm willing to invest my life into this?
Right. Well, second 50 is important because it's a mindset. The baby boomers, the youngest baby boomers, are now approaching 60.
Mm,
But it is because they are the largest, they are one of the largest, wealthiest, most highly educated groups to ever move into this age.
wow.
And the boomers have been changing the world their whole lives just by their size, but also because they are highly educated. They've been transforming the world. They've been solving problems,
Yes.
and the boomers don't need to stop. They
Mm.
still are who they are. We are the people that our parents warned us about. We're not our parents and we're not our grandparents. So I know that, and I firmly believe that in their hearts and souls, many, many people in that boomer generation are ready to do more with their lives and break out of the
Ooh,
comfort
I like
routine.
that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go visit my parents. They're a little bit older than you. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Wisconsin, and I don't know, I want to say 72, something like that. But it's awesome to see you here because, my parents are still active. They're not sitting in rockers just chilling. They're out investing in neighbors, and my mom, is associated with some nonprofits, and my dad does his walking every day. Like, I just feel that if you are waiting to die, what does Dan Sullivan say? Like, death will take you because it doesn't have to work that hard or something like that, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
you gotta have a bigger future, and that's what you do. Your practice, what you do, is you help people create bigger futures financially, but also purpose. What is an average person sitting down with you? What do you talk about?
We have to talk about what they want.
Mm,
So the majority of people I work with in Second 50 Financial that our team works with, they come in and they have reasons why they're here sitting with us. So we don't try to assume what they need and want.
uh,
And when you really understand what someone wants, you will know if you can help them or not. That's what we do. But I would say what I've seen is that people underestimate a little bit once they get into this good financial confidence space and have freedom. They underestimate what it might take to have this amazing second 50. And I think the biggest thing that eventually comes to them is they might be missing the connection in the community that could help them think differently.
gotcha, gotcha. So I love the book. I love the three focuses there. Opportunity expansion sounds very intriguing, very inviting. So let's talk about this. You're connecting with people. You now have Germany connections. I know every time you go to strategic coach, you all are magnets to each other. Where it's like, oh, you believe in this longevity thing. I mean, it almost feels like once you know where you're going, Kathleen, which that's what I think of you. I think of a woman who knows where she's going. Don't you think people are attracted to your clarity?
Oh, I do think, yes, that we attract like-minded people when we know what we want to do, like what our
Interesting.
purpose is and what kind of impact we want to have. And I've been finding that the people that I've talked to, like you said, in communities and just in conversations, even with some of our really great clients, they have more. They still want to make an impact. And it's not just about nonprofits and, doing a little more on the activity side. I fully believe we could monetize ideas. I think people
Yeah.
can continue building wealth and earning money. A lot of people want to go into business with one of their children, their adult
Mhm.
children, and we could explore how that looks, and as I think as we are living in one of the most unique times in history right now,
Yeah.
we are at a point where nothing really has to stop us if you have the
No,
money.
it's almost like the rules are being rewritten.
Yes.
I see a meme going around about, hey, look at all these people who didn't know who they wanted to be in their 40s, 50s. And then you see 60s, you see Colonel Sanders. I think in 50 years, there's going to be all kinds of graphics and memes written about, like, look at this person, 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe 110s, where they reinvented themselves.
Yep.
But like you said, this is not free, and we really need to look at the picture holistically. You can't just have maximum purpose without any finances and vice versa.
Exactly right. Yep. And that is the linchpin. That's the key. The beginning of a great second 50 to me is that financial confidence that you can support your lifestyle uh, when your business income stops, but also if you are still working,
Mm.
again, you need to be working towards a time when work is optional, not because you have to and you're afraid to stop.
And you talk about that in the book, right?
And that was
Work.
really important for my dad. That's one of the reasons why it became such a strong focus and why I went into financial planning to begin with. And
I
I
love that. I
yeah,
love that. Even this line here, don't waste your wisdom and wealth. I remember meeting you a little over a year ago at that strategic coach workshop. And man, we connected, and I think it was actually on the topic of blockchain, but I saw you and I said, this is somebody who thinks young, but has a total wisdom that she is not wasting. And I mean, that line is right there. Like, there's people, let's face it, there's people who are 30 that aren't in the game anymore. I hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to catch my son the other day saying, gee, I wasted that 1 year during COVID, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you're 17. What do but it's a mindset. Like, you have to think young. And I love what Maureen says. Maureen is watching from Scotland. So we are totally, I mean, you just mentioned Germany. Who knows? Maybe Maureen. But Maureen is an amazing author who thinks young. She had to deal with a chronic illness. But again, I love these people because it's mindset and overcomer. What do you feed yourself in terms of physical food, but also mental food? What are you dialing into, Kathleen?
I love food. So I don't pretend that I'm plant-based or eating along those lines because I don't. But I think we all try to eat sensibly. I feel that what's coming down the pipeline on the health and vitality side is so significant that everything even I'm doing will continue to evolve.
Wow.
We're going to have precision nutrition.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're going to be able to figure out exactly what we need to eat to stay healthier. I'm very excited about that. There are people working on things that would blow your mind. And I wish I could talk about one of them, but there's a lot of help coming. So people in their second 50 and boomers who think that they won't be able to do it, even if they find out what's going to be best for their health and their bodies,
Yeah.
we will be able to do it. There will be a lot of ways that we can find some hacks and do a great job of health. And then for me, I honestly believe that my connection to a community has kept me very focused and very moving forward and always willing to try new things.
Well, I know that one person you're talking about with the precision nutrition. It is mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So I'm always studying and learning. You're one of the people that I said I need to read her book. I've enjoyed it. Our team has loved working with you. We just see you going so many places, and we're gonna catch up here in France in less than a month. But where can people go? What other things? If people are like, oh my gosh, Kathleen, I'm connecting with her. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Where can people find out more about you?
So I think the easiest way right now is just to message me on LinkedIn. That's a really simple way. You can go to the website, and if you're interested in the movement, just let me know. We do offer complimentary workshops right now, so that could be a first step, just on how to get to know each other. If you have an idea for me, I welcome that. I love that. But I think, if you're open-minded and you're in your second 50 years and maybe a little bit tired of the daily routine and your comfort zone, travel's great, golf is great, maybe ready for a little more sparkle in your day, that's a great reason to connect.
Your book is honestly one of my favorite covers ever. And folks, you got to close up on this, but it's a 50-cent piece, but it's the infinity sign. And I love everything about this. Second 50, achieve financial confidence, increase opportunity, and leverage vitality. I know that you are getting a lot of inquiries from media. They're starting to pay attention. So I guess in the end, folks, what I'm saying is, if this is resonating with you, reach out now, because I'm telling you, in 6-12 months, Kathleen's not going to have the bandwidth because she's going to be blowing up so much. So you're getting her on the front end just as the book launches. But Kathleen, thank you so much. And I can't wait to mastermind with you over a croissant here in a month.
I cannot wait, Kary. And thank you so much to you and your team. You
Awesome.
were remarkable at helping me get this dream to market. And I can't thank you enough.
Well, Ricky, Tanisha, we all love you. And thank you, Kathleen. You make it a great day, and we'll be in touch. All right.
Sounds good.
See ya.
Bye, Kary.